I started picking our raspberries here, but something is not right with them. They don't look the best. So yeah, I think it's because there was a big drought throughout the majority of their growing season. So that's why they are kinda small and there are some, like, I can see damage or something. But oh well, at least we have something. The taste is nice, so that's what matters. And yeah, more of them are getting ripe, so hopefully overall it will be a nice harvest. And we have many different varieties. There are normal red ones and yellow ones, orange ones and even black ones. They still need to get ripe, the black ones, but they look very interesting. Different to blackberries, they are not blackberries, just black raspberries, so that's fun. Here we have alpine currants. We have more shrubs throughout the garden, mostly as part of our hedge. Look, these little red berries. And every year I explain that we read on the internet that they taste very bland, so people don't grow them at home in their gardens. But I was always saying, no, they are so sweet and yummy. And they are, but there is a catch. They are only good and sweet when you take them from the shrub right to your mouth. I was picking them last year into a bowl, like, wow, this is such a nice harvest. I put them in the fridge, and in the morning I wanted to put them in my oatmeal, and I also tasted them. And the taste was completely gone from them. Like no taste whatsoever. It was like water or something. So they are very bland if you don't eat them fresh, like directly from the shrub. Yeah, that's a very interesting discovery. Here we have more alpine currants. The berries are really, really tiny. And when they are tasteless, you can store them. Now I get why people don't have them in their gardens, but we wanted to have them as part of our hedge under trees because they don't grow very, very tall, so that's why. And it's always nice to have something different. And right next to them here there are Josta berries. I need to start picking them because they are also ripe. Look. They look like this. So it's a hybrid or something, a mixture of black currants and gooseberries. And the result are these Josta berries. So that's nice. And there are less of them than in the previous years because there were so many disasters this year. Everything is not doing the best. Late spring frosts, strong ones, then very, very dry for many months, and recently the thunderstorm with big hail or with hail. So, wow, I'm curious to know what happens next. Hopefully nothing too devastating, but this year has been really interesting weather-wise.
It was time to mow our meadow for the first time this year. We were waiting for the ox-eye daisies to finish flowering, which is what they always advise to wait for. And I spent basically 2 afternoons mowing this space. So now it looks very different. Suddenly the place looks bigger here between the trees. The only thing that I left here is the chicory. because we like how it flowers at this time of year, but it was part of the meadow and so now it has nothing to lean against, so it's lying there, so maybe I will prune it or something. But there's another one there which is standing on its own, so this one is nice. It looks like it's spreading because now we have 4 plants and we only started with 1, so that's nice.
Today I have a berry picking day. It's going. I expect quite a nice amount. Here I have black currants, but at the same time the berries look destroyed. Look, a lot of them are fallen on the ground, and it's because of the drought and then the hailstorm. Combination of these two, I would say. And here a lot of red currants are also down, and the ones that are not down, look at this area for example, it looks like destroyed, they are not well. So this year is not good for fruit. And I was also picking gooseberries. It doesn't look very well there either. So yeah, it's a weird year. I've been fertilizing with our yiha, or nettle compost tea in English. Look, it looks very disgusting and it also smells very disgusting. So you have to dilute it in water. I always use like almost full watering can of normal water, and then I add this. The ratio is approximately 1:10, so more water and just a small amount of this. And I water our shrubs and small trees and also some veggies, so it should help them grow faster. For example, this shrub, it hasn't been growing very well. This is the main part that died, but this appeared and there are new growths, but very tiny. So this should make the growth better. I will pour the whole watering can in there. And yesterday I was carrying watering cans back and forth and everything. I would say like 50. So it's hard work because it's heavy. My arm hurts, but it's worth it. We have good experience with this, and sometimes it really kickstarts some shrubs that weren't doing anything in the past, and we were like, why are they not growing? And then I water them with this, and in some time we can see new growth. Not always, but sometimes, so it can help. It's so pretty here in our yard. These black-eyed Susans, they look amazing and yeah, very vibrant,
and they keep spreading, so they overgrew everything else that used to be here.
Yes, but at least they are pretty. So when something is pretty and strong at the same time, we don't mind.
Yeah, we like that.
But I'm here because of these sour cherries. It's time to start picking them. Not all of them are ripe yet, but some of them are. So I will start picking the darkest ones. And you can also feel it because they are soft, softer than the not ripe ones. And we are also afraid of starlings. We see huge flocks flying around every day. Some of them were already walking here and looking at the sour cherries. So Tommy was saying that they are scouting ahead and they are checking the sour cherries and then they will call all their friends, and in seconds this would be all gone. So that's why we want to pick at least something, and yeah, so we have at least something. Here we can see a birdie enjoying a sour cherry, but this one is actually a blackbird, not a starling. Blackbirds are okay, they live alone, so they don't come in huge flocks and eat everything at once, so they are fine in the yard and we like observing them. The berry picking day is over, I would say, and it looks like a success, even though the bowls are smaller, but it still looks great and it shows the variety of our garden.
Yeah, it looks like more than enough for the two of us.
Yes, yes. So what do we have here? These are black currants. Here we have Josta berries, very small amount. This is like a record low because I don't know.
No, we had worse, but they are not amazing, and it's not something we want to preserve. They are good to eat raw, just like that, and for that, that's enough.
Okay, so we should be happy about this. Here we have raspberries, another batch. They get ripe gradually.
I think they know what raspberries look like, but okay.
Okay. They are yellow ones are there and also red ones. Here we have gooseberries. I was thinking this is a workout. Tommy can say something about gooseberries in the meantime.
Gooseberries are good, also raw. And we have, I think, 3 different colors that we grow, but they all taste similar, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I would say a lot of them are damaged from the drought mostly, and then the hailstorm, like that was the final nail in the coffin. So yeah, but we still should have a nice amount. This is not everything, not all of them were ripe yet when I was picking.
Okay.
And here, these are Saskatoon berries, just a small amount this time. I'm quite disappointed this year.
With everything.
No, mainly with Saskatoon berries, because it looked like there could be a nice amount. But I don't know, like they are not getting ripe and they are not the prettiest. Something is happening.
The drought maybe again.
Yeah, maybe. Even though I was trying to water mainly the ones that had the most berries, and the berries were still green and smaller back then. So I was like, they need water, so they are juicy and sweet, and I don't know. But yeah, it's tough this year. And here, more red currants. So that's nice. And Tommy is holding my harvest of
sour cherries, the first batch.
Yeah.
The tree is looking really good this year, unlike the others. So I think we could have a nice amount.
Yeah,
more than previous 2 or 3 years.
I'm really happy with the sour cherries this year, and also I'm glad that the hailstorm didn't damage them, or just a little bit. So that's cool.
Some of them, but most of them look really good.
Yeah. But unlike berries, this is not over the work. We still need to remove the pits from them, so there is more work with these kinds of fruits. But we don't mind, because then we can have something yummy. So that's also great. And the ants are trying to go here. This very, not yet, this very exclusive fruit. So what are these? Tommy is going to tell us.
I don't remember.
These are apricot plums, is the name. Apricots and plums. But this is a hybrid between them. And they mostly froze in spring, the flowers, and we were like, we won't have anything. But then 6 fruits started developing, and we were watching them getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we were like, oh my god, yes! But of course, then the hailstorm arrived and they are totally damaged, and the ants, they noticed immediately, like, this is easy prey. So they started eating them out through the damaged parts. But yeah, these are leftovers. We are sharing with the ants. So let's taste this.
I already tasted it.
Yeah. These are the last 3. We already had the previous 3. So all of the 6 ones made it to maturity, to adulthood. And yeah.
I really like them. To me, they are better than regular apricots. So I look forward to these.
Yeah. So hopefully 1 year we will have a nice amount. The frosts are always the main factor in spring.
Every year.
Yeah. Yummy. Okay, so I would say a very successful day. So this is our thingy for removing pits from sour cherries. And it works well. So that's nice. We've been using this for years. At first, we were not sure if we should buy this because there was a very pretty ad, like everything worked perfectly. Like ads usually, they are like that. Sometimes it doesn't work perfectly. But most of the time it does. So that's nice. But it's not 100%. Sometimes some pits stay there. And then I make a pie or something. And we need to be careful. And our guests as well.
We've had these curtains above our windows and doors to prevent swallows from building a nest, but somehow they managed anyway. After a few years of trying, here's a new nest, brand new nest, and we can look forward to some droppings right on our window and table and sofa.
Already it's happening, not droppings, but the mud. They built their nest from mud.
That's still okay compared to what's about to come. They love it here, but for some reason they only want to build nests above windows and doors from our experience. So we left other parts of the house available, but they just don't want to go there.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that I feel like I saw maybe 2 pairs or more than 2 swallows building this nest. So I don't know what's happening here, but maybe 1 pair won. Maybe they built it together and then whoever came first is now staying inside.
No, but I saw 3 swallows today. I was filming and like they were there inside. One was bringing food or something, I think, but 2 are sitting there inside on the eggs probably. So this is a community nest, or they are swingers, or what's the term?
These are free-spirited swallows.
Yeah, a collective family, extended one. They are creating a multi-partner family. That sounds very nice.
So they have a safe home here with us.
Yeah.
But we're curious to watch what's going to happen next.
Yeah,
and we think we will have to put something to catch the poo that will be falling out.
Yeah. We will do that. There is an idea in our heads, so
Yeah.
it's just a matter of me making something.
Oh, that's it? Okay, great. Then we have nothing to worry about.
One is sitting there right now. One is there almost constantly, peeking the head out and like greeting us. Now, when we are filming, it doesn't want to stick the head too much. So I just want to clarify that we, of course, love to have them here, but it would be so much better here, for example, in this spot, not like they know, the birds always know what's the best. With the berries as well, they know when they are the tastiest. And here they know this is the prettiest spot with the begonias and with the table. Maybe they see us like sitting here and enjoying our meals. So they know that, yeah, this is the best spot. Let's build the nest here, the most popular spot. Or I don't know, birds are funny. There is one more swallow nest here in our barn. They have it here every year, here on the wood there. And today, guys, you can't see anything. Today I saw there two little heads sticking out, but I think they were babies, but they are bigger already. And they were like opening their beaks and not making any sound whatsoever, but they saw movement here outside when I was watching them, and maybe they thought I'm the mother, which I'm not. So they were like waiting for little insects to be delivered or something. Guys, we just found out that they are not called swallows in English. These ones are Western house martins, but not the marten, the mammal that lives here in the attics and barns and sometimes hunts for chickens, very rarely. But yeah, Western house martins, they are from the swallow family, but we know like in Czech there are two different names, and swallows as well as these Western house martins are here, but they have different tails. And these ones in the barn up there, they are barn swallows, and there is a difference in the nest. This one is more open from the top, and the martins, it's closed, it's like glued to the ceiling as well, and there is just a little opening. So that's very interesting. And all of these birds from the swallow family, they spend a lot of time in the air. They fly almost the whole day and they find insects, so they are useful. They eat mosquitoes and little flies and everything. So yeah, just to tell you that. And to continue our ornithology fun, they also migrate. So in winter they are not here, but they fly to Africa and enjoy the warmth there. They are always messengers of the fact that the spring is starting when they come back, and that the summer is over when they prepare to fly away again. Anyway, hopefully you are not totally bored. If yes, tough luck, because as you can hear, I love rambling about these things. You can tell us in the comments which interesting birds you like seeing in your surroundings. In the end, I made this. They sell something similar on a website that's about these birds, and then they recommend it. But I put it together from the materials that I found here around the country house, so that's nice. And it catches the droppings, and the nest is made of mud. So sometimes little pieces of mud are falling down. And yeah, it's been working. It's very high up, so no cats or anything can get there. And yeah, we are happy about that. So now we enjoy watching the birds, and it's been fun.